Guys, welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel for some breaking news in regards to the Real Housewives of New York. But before we get into that, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. It is a subscribers only live chat. And also feel free to share this on your social media. Shout out to everyone that's already in the live chat. I've posted on our YouTube page a poll. I said, are you excited for a RHONY reboot? Because that is the breaking news in a new interview, exclusive interview with Variety. Andy Cohen, you know, the executive producer behind the Real Housewives franchise and his failing talk show, Watch What Happens Live. Only in America could you have a failing talk show and they keep giving you things. All right, we'll leave that for the end. Well, in this new Variety exclusive, Andy Cohen has revealed what is the future for the Real Housewives of New York. So many people have speculated for months, and I kept on telling you, according to my sources, no one has received a contract. There is no one necessarily fired, but there's no one necessarily coming back. Well, now in this new interview with Variety, Andy Cohen is confirming what we've been speculating a little bit. They are going to reboot the Real Housewives of New York, and they're going to give him another show. The Real Housewives, they're tentatively titling this The Real Housewives of New York Throwback or Real Housewives of New York Legacy. I prefer the latter. But we have to break down some of the things that Andy Cohen said in this interview. You will have an opportunity to call in and share your thoughts, but sharing is caring. Share the live, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all like Kempire, shady. So I am going to read specifics from here because this was an interview and we will all weigh in because they are listening to you guys. I know some of you think Kempire, they're not listening, blah, blah, blah. No, the reason why this news is coming out now is not because they have a cast. They want your opinion. According to Andy Cohen, they have been listening to you guys. They want your opinion on what Real Housewives of New York City Legacy should look like and what this new reboot of the Real Housewives of New York should look like. So as you know, for many years, people have complained that the Real Housewives of New York did not really represent or look like the New York City that we know and love. As you know, they tried last season by implementing a more diverse cast. We got Ebony K. Williams. We got, oh, damn, Brashaw. There we go, Brashaw. Damn. We got her as well, a part of the cast. But it also was the lowest rated season of RHONY. So they've taken a very long break. And based on this news that Andy Cohen is revealing in this Variety interview, it seems as if you're not going to get RHONY this year at all. They don't have a cast. They don't have a cast for this throwback show, and they don't have a cast for this new reboot. Nope, you're not getting RHONY this year. I know we're in March, but they are literally trying to find this friend group. So as you know, we've been giving Bravo and Andy Cohen so many tips on what they can do to refresh this brand. And one of the things that we've always said is that it should be genuine, authentic connections and friendships. So they're literally casting. So we're helping with casting. I guess the casting company that was casting for RHONY are pissed right now because they're like, damn, what about all the ladies that we had lined up for this new season? So this is what the Variety interview is saying. Okay, before you drop the call-in link for you guys to call in and share your thoughts, I'm working on multiple stories today, so stay tuned for more, okay? So this is what the interview says, okay? So this week, Andy Cohen, the longtime executive producer of The Real Housewives, unveiled the team's radical new plan in an exclusive interview with Variety. The two-part strategy takes into account everything that our passionate audience has really been telling us over the last year, Cohen said, and involves rebooting and recasting the series, most likely from scratch, and launching a second RHONY series featuring former stars. They say most likely from scratch. They say most likely. You have to pay attention to the little things that they say. Most likely from scratch. So it doesn't mean that this new reboot of the series won't include Ebony K. Williams. I believe that this new reboot, they're going to gear younger. and towards actual housewives. They do also talk about Ebony K. Williams in this interview as well. We will get there. Andy Cohen also says this. He says, that we're at a crossroads for RHONY. We spent a lot of time figuring out where to go, and the plan that we've come up with, I think, is a real gift to fans and to Andy Cohen's pockets. Let's be real. This was a gift to Andy Cohen's pockets. Not only is he going to reboot his series, it's not canceled, he's getting a second show. And it's because of the success of the Real Housewives All-Stars Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, an idea that came from fans. So they're actually starting to listen to you guys. So he goes on to say this. So this is what Variety is reporting. They said Bravo's first priority is to fix the mothership. That is the core show, RHONY. A challenge Cohen looks forward to enthusiastically. He says, there are thousands of stories to tell here. This is the most multicultural, diverse, and energetic and exciting city in America. We are searching for a multicultural group of friends who really best reflect the most exciting city in the country. We're looking for a group of women who are real friends, who are of diverse backgrounds, races, and religions. But keep in mind, they are not trying to do what they did in Real Housewives of Atlanta or the Real Housewives of Potomac. So I know some of you, when you think diversity, you think just, an all-black cast. Because don't forget, Real Housewives of Atlanta is their highest rated of the entire franchise. You go through all their highest rated episodes, it's all Atlanta. So there's been success with their diverse groups, but it's taken them almost 20 years to figure it out. Or to figure out that New York City's diverse. Don't get me wrong, I loved my early years of RHONY, but I always knew that it didn't represent the New York that I have grown up and known and loved. So he goes on. But RHONY has been a Bravo mainstay since it premiered in 2008 and quickly became part of the zeitgeist. So in an effort not to throw away what's worked for so many years, Cohen simultaneously announced a second Real Housewives of New York City that will feature ex-cast members from the original show over the years. There's no official title for the show, but Andy Cohen is referring to it as Real Housewives of New York Throwback or Real Housewives of New York Legacy. Okay. Guys, I will check back to see what you guys are saying in the live chat. I'm just trying to there's a lot of details and points that I want to point out before you weigh in and share your thoughts. But if you're just joining us, there's some breaking news in regards to the Real Housewives of New York. So many people have been waiting for some information on when we can expect a new season. There have been all kinds of rumors. This one's fired. That one's fired. They're getting rid of RHONY altogether. But one of the things that I've always said about Bravo and Andy Cohen is that they're not brave enough. It was like a challenge. I was just challenging. You're not brave enough to reboot an entire city. They said, Kempire, we're going to show you. So that's the word on the street, that they're going to reboot New York altogether. They are actively looking for a friend group that is diverse and really represents what New York City is. And they are using all of us to find them. So if you feel like it's your friend group, call in. Andy's watching. Hey, Andy. How you doing? Anyways. All right. Okay, where was I? So there's no official title, as I said to you before. They're playing around with different titles. He even brings up, of course, people are wondering, does this mean Jill Zarin will be returning? He even makes fun of Jill Zarin and says, I already can hear Jill Zarin calling me and saying this. Jill's going to be like, well, I'm going to add this part. Hey, if you watch RHONY, you know what I'm talking about. Am I getting my Apple back? As to where these shows will air, what they're aiming for is that the reboot will be developed and produced for Bravo, but the throwback or legacy version, they're not sure if it'll be on Bravo or will it go to Peacock. They've seen quite some success on Peacock, like with the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip and the Real Housewives of Miami. And of course, it would eventually come to Bravo, very much like those two shows. Okay. So as you know, with season 13 of the Real Housewives of New York, they experienced terrible ratings. And so many people had think pieces on why that was. But according to Andy Cohen, and he's been consistent about this, he believes that it really had to do with they only had 5 housewives. We were really restricted on what we could do in New York. And I said to you guys, I can go with that because everyone's COVID restrictions state to state were very different. But New York City took it very seriously and it was very strict. Okay. So he reiterates that. But as you know, within season 13, that's when we were introduced to Ebony K. Williams. And there are a sector of people that love Ebony for the show, and there are a sector of people that hated Ebony for the show. So they're asked about Ebony possibly returning on one of these shows. Okay. Oh, let me move this up. Okay. So an obvious question for the rebooted RHONY is whether Ebony K. Williams, who was popular with some segment of the audience, but less so with others, might be an anchor for the new show. Okay. So Andy says this: we are interviewing multiple groups of friends. So certainly if Ebony is interested and has friends that would meet our casting goals, then of course they would be considered, which says to me they haven't had that conversation yet. Okay. Moving on. So with the new Throwback Edition, Cohen says that the Housewives creative team learned key lessons from the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, which brought cast members from different franchises and launched on Peacock in mid-November. With this new series, though, the women will be filmed in their lives in New York rather than sent to an island somewhere. He says, our loyal fans have spoken as to what they want to see and what they don't want to see. And we've taken that all into account. And this is a series where you're going to expect to see fan favorites from the show's great history. Are they going to fly Alex McCord back in from Australia? Maybe. He says it's organic, you know. They were in each other's lives. They are in each other's lives. He wants the fantasy casting to begin. We're looking at people who are beloved by fans. So they're talking about this Real Housewives of New York legacy. Okay. If you had to cast legacy for those that are going to be calling in, I want you to, first of all, if you are that friend group that's here in New York, they will be watching this video. They want to hear from you. They want to see, okay, do you have that personality that would be part of this reboot? But in regards to the former castmates, who do you want to see come back? As you know, last season, they did not have a reunion because allegedly of an investigation, okay? Of an investigation involving Ramona Singer. There's been extreme backlash about Ramona returning to the show, which is part of the reason why I feel they have waited so long to bring RHONY back, okay? But we can talk more about that. Okay. So speaking of Ramona, Cohen's use of Beloved would suggest that Ramona Singer, an OG cast member of RHONY, would become increasingly, who became increasingly divisive figure in recent years, will not be a part of the throwback. But Cohen and a Bravo spokesperson said official casting hasn't even begun and wouldn't elaborate further on Singer specifically. Cohen isn't worried about casting the throwback show. It's the RHONY reboot he's more focused on. So they're focused on the reboot right now, not necessarily the legacy show. Okay. So keep that in mind. They're focused on a new cast. I can see them starting to film this show if they find the cast in time by the end of this year. I don't see us getting RHONY this year. So if you had any hopes of RHONY coming back this year in 2022, I don't think so. I really don't think so. So he says this in regards to all of this. He says, I've got to tell you that in my almost 20 years working with Bravo, to me, this is the most exciting casting proposition that I've been involved with. We are quite literally looking for who will be the real New York, who will be the new Real Housewives of New York City. And I think this represents a tremendous opportunity for a rebirth of the show, a rebirth of the franchise. What we're looking for is everything that makes a great housewife: fun, opinionated, successful, aspirational, women who represent a side of New York that we want to see more of. So they do go on in an interview. As always, we will be citing our sources in the description of this video after the live. If you're just joining us, we're talking about breaking news that the Real Housewives of New York is going to be rebooted. No confirmation on whether or not we won't get one or two housewives that have been a part of the series to come back, but they're also going to be launching a new show called Real Housewives of New York, tentatively called Real Housewives of New York Throwback or Real Housewives of New York Legacy. Okay, let me just see what you guys are saying before I get into some of the interview of what Andy Cohen had to say about this whole idea. Uh-oh. This was the first comment, Leah. I'm not targeting you. This was the first comment that I saw. Okay. Leah is a snooze fest, so leave her. I wasn't even thinking of Leah. Tyra says they need to do this for every franchise. Cut me a check, Andy. Oh, and Kempire too. Thank you, Tyra. Thank you. Sister who says no to Leah on either show. She's definitely not Legacy. You guys are terrible. We can talk about who you consider for the show, but I had to come live to talk about this. I was going to do like a pre-recorded video, but I was just like, no. They literally want to hear your opinions. So those of you that are watching the replay of this, Bravo is watching. They do have a research team. Yeah, we learned that in the interview. Yeah, we got a research team. Apparently, they didn't do enough digging. Who lost their job for Jenny Wen? Okay, no one should have lost their job. Okay, maybe they should have. That was pretty serious. Casey, really? Casey, I already told you guys I would not be good for RHONY. Okay, since we're talking about a reboot, we'll get into what Andy says shortly. All right. Andy, if you're taking notes, take this note. Stop hosting the reunions. There's an article where I'm cited again from the video that I did on TikTok back in October. They're talking about how fans do not want Andy Cohen to host the reunions anymore. I was like, damn. See, when you start saying stuff on the internet, they could come up 10, 20 years later, or even just a couple months later. Andy, that would be another good start, especially if you're going to reboot New York with a more diverse cast. We need a new host. I'm not putting my hat in the ring. I'm just saying maybe there's some other up and coming talent that you might know and love. I know, Andy, you don't want me to do it. Yeah, let's start with a new host. And let's start with a new nighttime show. That's not Watch What Happens Live. All right, Andy. It's okay. It's a love-hate relationship. Bernice says, Andy is so biased. Hey, Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice says, Andy is too biased as a host. Brian says, cough, cough, Kevin. I hope you guys realize when I say these things, it's not me necessarily trying to get a job at NBC. Just saying. Okay, Tiffany, look, Funky Dineva needs to host. Very funny. Who else? Tyra says, oh, yes, Kempire, stop hosting, Andy. If you want to refresh, that's part of the refresh. That's part of the refresh. Okay, let's get into this before I drop the call-in link. Guys, we have almost 500 people in the room. Drop this link to your cousin, to your coworker that might be across the cubicle from you, because I know y'all back in the offices. It's okay. All right. Let them know what we're talking about. Okay, so this was the question that was posed to Andy. How is casting working, generally speaking? Like, how do you find groups of friends? He says part of why we really wanted to announce this before it happened is that we wanted to hear from people. This is a major casting search. Are you guys ready for your close-up? We're going to do the casting right here, like we're doing for Ladies Who List New York. He says, this is a major casting search. We're going to be casting all over Manhattan and the boroughs. Brooklyn. See, Carlos, you dropped the ball. I told you to bring Love and Marriage, Brooklyn here. I mean, it's never too late, Carlos. Okay. He says that we're going to be casting all over Manhattan and the boroughs. Part of the search is spreading the word. And when you start from scratch, Beverly Hills was really successful season 1. Cast. Jersey was a really successful season 1 cast. Salt Lake City was a really successful season 1 cast. Okay. Okay, in regards to, let me see what he's saying, because I don't want to highlight every single part. I will post the link so you guys can read the full interview. I just want to highlight certain parts where he's talking that's relevant. Okay, so diversifying the housewives has gone well for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and with Salt Lake City and Miami reboot from their starts. For Dallas, it turned into a disaster, and that ended the show for now. Rumor on the street is that Dallas may be coming to Peacock in 2023. That is a rumor. Honestly, I'm open to it because, we watched and recapped Dallas. I never even got into Orange County until this past season, but I seen all the seasons of Dallas. But those ratings were terrible for Dallas. They need to really recast Dallas if they're going to do it. Okay, so in regards to this, he says, the question is, tell me what you've learned about successful inclusive casting in the past few years. This is very important. He says, one of the things that makes these shows such a success is that they're about real people with real connections and their interactions. The thing we always come back to is that our greatest successes, and certainly one of the things that resonated with RHONY in the past, is featuring women who had relationships before joining the show. We're focusing on that going forward. So a lot of people have been going back and forth. Who are you going to bring back? Is Bethany Frankel going to come back? He won't say that Luann and Sonia or Ramona won't be returning for this legacy version. Okay. He also says he doesn't want to get into specifics. Remember, their focus right now is the reboot, not the old cast members coming back. But in regards to Bethany Frankel coming back, he says this. He says, listen, I go back with Bethany since the beginning. She's moved to Connecticut, but she's still in the Hamptons. Her life is now evolved to another place, so I can't imagine her wanting to do it. But of course, I never turned down a conversation with Bethany about coming back because it means ratings. Okay, it means getting a check. So many of you, there have been so many rumors, oh, Bethany's coming back. And I'm like, okay, y'all sit there and think that Bethany's coming back. Bethany's saving the world. Okay. Congratulations to her for the millions that she's raised for Ukraine and so many other natural disasters and things that have happened over the last few years. Do I think that Bethany might come back in the future? Possibly. I don't think she'll come back right now. Not right now. Okay. What are you guys saying? Kenzie says, New York without Bethany will always be a loss. I know. But we have to also understand something. The same way that we found Bethany and we didn't really know Bethany when we found her is the same person probably walking down the street as we speak that needs to be on TV. That's not on TV. And I'm ready to find her. Oh, look, I'm ready to find her. Unless I get a finder's fee. And one of the things he does say in the interview is kind of going back to what we did with Atlanta, what we did in New York. People we never knew. Let's get away from getting celebrities that we know. That's lazy. And that's why when you get people that have been in this world, that have been on camera for so many years, you don't get authentic TV. You get someone that understands how to blindly, bob and weave on TV. Tyra says Ebony could be a Bethany. You never, Tiffany. Come on, find us, fee. Brian says, don't give them any help without a check, Kempire. I love you guys. You guys are so funny. I am going to drop the call-in link so you guys can call in. Where are we with the likes? Where do I want to go? Let's get to 250 likes because you're here for a reason and you're here consistently. Let's get to 250 likes. I will drop the call-in link so you guys can share your thoughts on this news that the Real Housewives of New York is going to be completely rebooted. If we get anyone familiar, it'll probably one or two people, if that. But they are looking for a more diverse group, be it color, religion, all of that. Honestly, at this point, this is New York City. Do we have any house husbands that maybe have other that are living the high life because their gay partner is rich? Yes, this is New York. They probably go to Townhouse. I've been to New York my entire life. I never knew of Townhouse. And then I figured out why. It's not my scene, if you know what I mean. Okay. Shout out to all of you. I said I was gonna go, but now that I found out it's sort of like it's not my scene. I shouldn't be there. I shouldn't be there. But so many of you have said that you want to see a gatehouse husband. You want to see, we got Julia and Martina on the Real Housewives of Miami. This is New York. Norma, I just saw that. This is New York. How about we get some Puerto Ricans up in there? Something. Oh. Thank you, Data, for the reminder. Guys, don't forget, speaking of Ukraine, if you like a way to help the Black people that are trying to get out of the Ukraine, these beautiful Black women launched this organization, blackwomenforblacklives.org. You can donate, you can volunteer. All of the information is available on their website. Thank you, Data, for reminding us. Dominicans too. This is New York. Brown says, wait, stop teasing us, Kemp. Tell it all. Wait, what do you want me to tell you? I forgot what I said. Elephant brain's not working. All right, let me get into this, and I'm going to drop the call link so you guys can call in and share your thoughts. Guys, we're almost at 250 likes. Liking the video not only helps our channel, it helps other channels that cover hot topics like this, Real Housewives. It helps the smaller channels or other channels that you may not even know show up on your algorithm. I mean that when I say that. So when you support my channel, you're also supporting other channels as well. So back into what Andy's saying here, because he wants us to do the casting, y'all. Okay. So of course they're talking about what went wrong with RHONY. We won't get into that. We can talk about that whenever. Okay. He talks about the ladies and have they been agitating the season 13 ladies? Have they been reaching out to him in the last year? He says last year he heard more from them, but he says he hasn't really heard a lot from them this season. He says, I was hearing from them a lot last year, but I have to say, especially given that this group is usually a group that is very like, when are we starting? What's the plan? They're aggressive and they're type A. They've really all respected the fact that we're gonna figure this out and we'll let you know. So they've been very relaxed, especially considering that this is a group of people that I would not necessarily typically characterize as relaxed. Okay. And here's the thing about what they learned from Ultimate Girls Trip. So the interviewer asked the question, can you talk more about how Peacock and the success of Ultimate Girls Trip with the fans, at least since the ratings aren't reported, opens new doors for the Real Housewives franchise? Ultimate Girls Trip was really a smash hit, and it allowed us to see, we can have this other universe going, and it's not going to cannibalize the original, meaning more money for Andy Cohen. Anyways, it made the pitch doing this throwback version like you could see it. So Ultimate Girls Trip opened the doors up for Andy Cohen, and we all said Real Housewives All Stars was a great idea. We recapped it. We enjoyed it. We really did enjoy it. It did add this new refresh to this franchise. Okay. I mean, we could have used a reunion though. Not that Watch What Happened Live mess that y'all gave us. Okay. Let me just see if there was anything else that I wanted to mention. So in regards to possibly bringing back some of the housewives from season 13 for this reboot, was that ever discussed? So the person's trying to get into the nitty-gritty of what's been happening over the last 2 years with RHONY after these failing ratings. So they ask this question. They say this. Hold on, y'all. Was there ever a scenario in which you might have maybe brought back Luann, Sonia, and Ebony, then cast 3 or 4 new women? A reboot like that happened in season 5. He says, I mean, we talked about everything. There were people who really wanted, let's just totally start over. Who were those people? Because he didn't say it was him. He said, let's just totally start over. And then there were people who were like, wait a minute, what about this group that we've invested 13 years in? I think that's why this is really listening to everybody. So in regards to the input, your input, not someone said bring back drunk Luann. Come on now. She's working on her sobriety. Come on. So they asked the question, when you talk about wanting the fans to have input in both of these shows, especially the throwback version, how do you actually figure out what people are saying? And this is when we find out that Bravo has a research department. He says, we have a pretty active research department at Bravo. Who found Jenny? Jenny went from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. He says, we have a pretty active research department at Bravo. So I will say when research comes to the programming execs, it's usually not that surprising given what we already are hearing. Okay. People call me Bravo Andy, and they either blame me or applaud me for everything that happens on Bravo, whether I have something to do with it or not. So I feel especially connected to the audience. I do a Q&A with the Watch What Happens Live audience every night before the show, and I hear their opinions every night. Here's the thing. The people that are going to Watch What Happens Live are fans, like real fans. And they're not going to say, Andy, this show needs to end. Look, there have been people that say, Kempire, you want to go to Watch What Happens Live with me? No. I said, no. I'm good. Oh, this is very sweet. Wait, hold on. Ooh, Amani, thank you so much for this. Amani says, random Kempire. I wanted to say this. I love your channel. It isn't mean spirit, always fun shade. And can we just keep up with that? Thank you guys. Yes, I hope I'm so glad you understand that my shade is fun. I don't have a malicious bone in my body unless you're my enemy. I don't even have any enemies. There are probably people that think I'm their enemy in their head, but I don't have any enemies. But thank you for that, Imani. All right. So I posted a poll. If you guys are just joining us, we are talking about the RHONY reboot is going to be a complete reboot of the Real Housewives of New York. They will be bringing back old cast members for a different show called Real Housewives of New York, possibly throwback, Real Housewives of New York Legacy. Okay. Leah, you're not a part of the Real Housewives of New York Legacy. Sorry. But I did a poll. I said, are you excited about a RHONY reboot? It's really close, Bravo. If you don't get this right, people are going to be upset. Right now, it's a tie between hell yes, you're excited and maybe you're excited. This isn't good. This isn't good at all. All right, let me drop the call-in link. Guys, we are two likes away from 250. Like the video. Let me drop the call-in link. All right. Yes, for all of you that have been reaching me out about the Wendy Williams news, I know I have to sit and let certain things marinate. I have to listen to that hour-long conversation that Kelvin did, and then I will report. I will report on it. But then we had this breaking news. Shout out to you guys that always keep me connected to what's going on in the world. I can't have my ears and tentacles everywhere. All right, let me drop the call-in link. I do want to hear what you guys have to say. Hold on, and then I will pin this as well. Okay. All right. And let me just pin this. Foxy says, Kelvin, we're going to talk about it. He had some interesting things to say. It actually confirmed a lot of what I was saying. Okay. All right. We're going to take some callers. Hold on. Claire says, Kelvin pissed me off all over again. Lord. Jackie says, we need Dorinda, and Leah was fun first season. Okay. Jesus, what's going on? Jesus says, build RHONY just around Dorinda, bring a trans woman person, and there are plenty here. Trans women, people of color, and make it fun again. I can see it. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle says, thank you, Kempire, for keeping us up to date with the dropping news. Like, I'm trying. Look, I'm trying. Y'all see there's nobody behind me, right? All right. Let's take some of these callers. Callers, please be brief because there's a long line, and then hang up once you're done so that we can have more people come into the backstage because they only allow you a certain amount on StreamYard. So let's get into this. Kristen, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Kristen?
Not much. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so I wrote a list because I am heated about this.
Okay.
So, first of all, the term legacy, that's a dog whistle term that white people use. And I do not approve of that term at all.
Okay.
I am from the South and I am very familiar with people who say legacy and exactly what they mean. So let's not use that. I see keeping the old ones as placating the bigots. And this idea of theirs, from what I understand, and I read between the lines, so you can tell me if I'm wrong, but their version is we're going to keep all of the old people who have been part of the show for so many years, and then we're going to create a new one, which is a diverse show. So their new idea is segregation.
Ooh.
That's Bravo's new idea, to segregate the shows. Like, that is so utterly and completely ridiculous and offensive. And I'm so angry that they literally came out here and said this, that this is what they want to do. Bravo is losing viewers. They're not getting new fans. That's why the ratings are going down. They keep doing everything over and over again, and people are not watching. That's why they are a sinking ship, because they continue to cling to these old ideals that are not, they don't work in 2022. They didn't work in 2021, and they didn't work in 2020. The world has changed. But if we want to talk about new people and that they want to do something to keep RHONY, then I think Ebony would actually make a great host instead of Andy. Okay. And I still say that, especially now that there's rumors The Real has been canceled, that Adrienne Houghton from Cheetah Girls would be amazing, even though she has before said that she's not interested. But if you want somebody who's successful, extremely well-known, very classy, and married, Misty Copeland lives in New York City.
Oh.
So those are my ideas. I am not a fan of two shows because they are clearly going to have a white cast and a not white cast. And that is so utterly ridiculous and offensive that, I mean, I wish I could shake whoever suggested this. And I want to ask everyone around them how they did not speak up to say it's a bad idea.
It's Andy Cohen. Look, Andy went from solving the issue that they were having with RHONY to making another show where he gets another check.
It is so self-serving and so completely ridiculous. And I don't know why anyone is surprised that a rich white man would do this to make himself more successful. But nonetheless, I oppose segregation in all forms. So I was one of the no votes.
Okay.
That's just me. I'm going to go.
Thank you, Kristen.
Bye.
Bye. And guys, look, we welcome differing opinions here on the channel. Don't be afraid to share your opinion. Even if you're like, no, I want to see RHONY come back. I want to see RHONY. It's okay. Or if you agree with Kristen, but Kristen came in and dropped a bomb. I was like, I mean, I told you part of the reason why they've been pushing RHONY back is because they knew we've been talking about Ramona and this investigation. We've been telling you. Hold on, y'all. Turn my thing off. But she was right. Look. They want to do this legacy show. What's that legacy show going to look like? Some of the cast members that we've seen on social media, people that they've been circulating, we're like, wow, I thought they were going for more diversity. Oh, Misty Copeland would be awesome. I'm familiar with Misty, but I'm not familiar with like her personal life. Okay. Bravo, y'all hear that? Okay. Okay. All right. Let me get to some of the callers because I see we have quite a few people here. Callers, be brief to the point so we can get to everyone. Amy, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, Amy?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
So, as much as I agree with the other caller, the reality of it is, I think what all of the franchises are missing is organic friendships. This is part of the reason why I've kind of pulled away from Real Housewives of Atlanta, and then also Real Housewives of Potomac. Those are my main staples, and then I've kind of peek in with New Jersey and stuff. The reality is that you have to have some organic relationship to have a real fight. Other than that, we're just going to be arguing about politics. And yes, in some cases they do need to be educated and all the rest of that stuff. But there's times I just want to watch girlfriends be girlfriends. And I think that's what he means by a reboot. If you do a reboot, you still have to gather people together that know each other, who have friendships, and then they can create storylines that are more authentic and real. So as much as I wanted to be like, oh, this is racist, I'm like, no, this is what all the franchises have been missing. Every time you add someone there, the reason why it's just not gelling well, because these people don't know each other. So as much as I would love to like, yeah, it's this, no, they're all missing that core thing that started it. When we first saw Atlanta, Nene and Kim were friends. Yeah. Sheree was always her nemesis. We had
in real life,
right? So when they started to have these arguments, it was like we were invested because we're watching these friend groups maneuver. So we need that more than anything. So if they're going to do a reboot, make that be the main like staple in how they cast these people. Do not, and the reason why I can't stand Potomac is because Wendy doesn't fit in, because how would she even be sitting with these girls? She's a PhD, no shade, and you've seen it in how she turned around and came back being a city girl. She's trying to find a way into
the group. City girl.
Did she not? She came back and she was like ready to sauce it up, and I was like, the reason why Wendy's doing this because she just doesn't organically gel. She doesn't. She's not an AKA who went to Hampton, who had a rich husband that pretty much she lived off, and now you all do each other from being in these little events where you all are raising money. She's a different type of breed. So I feel like if they're going to do that,
I want to say this. Can y'all just tell me that y'all missing Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac without telling me? Because you guys keep, every call this week, you guys keep bringing up Atlanta and Potomac in your examples. You guys are missing those ladies.
I am, but I'm missing, like, that's why I was always in like favor of bringing Katie back. They actually knew Katie. They actually knew Sharice. So in my opinion, like, whatever they do, make sure these girls know each other. Period. And then we get real good TV.
All right, we're going to just drop it on that one, Amy.
Thank you.
Period. All right, bye. Woo! You guys are feisty this afternoon. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are talking about the news that the Real Housewives of New York is going to get a reboot and a new show, which will be a throwback to some of the former cast members of RHONY. All right, I'm going to bring up Miss Bernice. Excuse me. Hey, Miss Bernice.
Hey, Kempire. I agree with the one who's talking about the legacy, because you said legacy, but you I was looking at the older episodes, and it was the same thing season after season after season. They're ready to get drunk and get mad at somebody. Ramona says something that she shouldn't have said, then cries about it, then does it again. Luann is trying to save everybody, but can't save herself. Okay, it's the same thing over and over again. You was on there for 13 years, and nobody grew but Sonia.
Did she?
You know, I could deal with. I love Sonia. That's what if they did. If for them to come back, the only ones I want to see is Sonia and Ebony. Okay. Because I'm sorry, at that when they had that Jewish dinner, and Ramona acted a stone cold fool, I was through with it then. Because you keep letting her this behavior. She offended black people and she offended Jewish people, and she got nothing happened to her. So if you're gonna do the legacy like that, you can keep the legacy. But if you honestly gonna truly recast it, bring back Ebony and Sonia, and recast it for the population that is of New York.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Because I'm sorry, like, there is how many millions of people that live in New York?
A million, like over 8 million.
And for 13 years, you only show the 1%. Okay?
Miss Bernice, we appreciate you calling in.
No problem.
Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Miss Verdiz, woo! I don't know about Sonia evolving because as someone said in the chat, last season she was urinating in a driveway. The season before that, she was urinating in the corn. Okay. Bree says legacy cast would be Caroline, Sonia, Luann, or really everyone from Scary Island season. I like the idea of Ebony, but I don't know if she's interesting. Hashtag classic. All right. All right, Gabriella, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Gabriella?
Hello. Bonjour.
Hello.
In French, we say about you, Kempire, you are a coquin. A coquin.
What's that?
You are a little bit shady, but little bit, this sassy style, with your eyes, but you are chicky with your cheek in your like that. Just what I say 3 things. Mamadi find Tiffany Moon, okay? And Tiffany Moon, we loved her. She was stunning in Dallas. It's not bravo to Mamadi. Andy knows Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper is the royalty of New York. It's the son from Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. In New York, you have the Van and the Von. And Carol Radziwill, it's also the legacy of the story of New York. Because some of my friends know who is Anderson. And Anderson knows everybody in New York. He is friend with Sarah Jessica Parker. She is living in New York. She with the legacy of New York too. Who did he don't find anybody? I'm sorry. He had all the most people of New York. He doesn't find any woman, any black woman, any French woman, any woman
Not
in the
French
world.
woman. You know what?
No, I'm sorry, but you have. I will tell you. I'm used to, and I know Townhouse. I will tell you, I know Townhouse. Okay. But what I say, really, he knows people. They are the real legacy of New York. The real, true people we don't know. And he doesn't find anyone, any gay people, any black woman, anyone. Oh my gosh, Mamadi find Tiffany Moon. Mamadi, she doesn't work for Bravo, and she find Tiffany Moon. He doesn't know everyone. He knows Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper, he had, the cell phone, the number of Anna Wintour. He doesn't find any woman in New York, any black woman, anyone. I just say that. Okay. You know what? You, Kempire, can find somebody.
I'm not finding anybody unless you pay me.
Yes, me too. Me too, I can find. But I say Mystic Complan, she's true. I say Storm, he give name too. I had 2 names in my casket too. He doesn't find anyone. And I'm in Paris. I have 2 or 3 women. I know she can be the black woman, Punjabi woman, 1 French woman that really, housewife style. And he doesn't find anyone. And I love to see Sonia coming back with Ebony because they are friends now. And Ebony, when I see her in your show, I love her. What I say, exact.
All right. Thank you, Gabriella, for calling in.
Bye-bye. Au revoir.
I gotta work on my French. I love it. All right. We have a long line. Let me get to everyone, but I want to say thank you. We got a couple of super chats from Anne. Anne, thank you so much for the super chat. Anne says, remember how I said I no longer watch Bravo? The caller nailed it. Bravo triggers me. And thank you again for another super chat. Anne says Will Smith wanted a bit of Misty Copeland. She also married to Taye Diggs' cousin. Really? I might have to start doing some digging on Misty Copeland. Okay. All right. Let me get to some of these callers. Robin, I'm going to bring you up for a quick comment. What's going on, Robin?
Hey, Kempire.
How are you?
Listen, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing well.
Okay, let's keep it going. So, I think that I haven't read the article, but I get the really distinct impression that part of this diversity thingamajiggy that Andy's talking about really has to do with trying to clean up Bravo's image. Because think about it. In this past year, they have really come under fire for being more segregated than they have been. I mean, their segregation has been on notice and noted. If you remember, all of these different shows, all the reality shows, they all had let me say it the right way. The ones that had the majority black cast all had that one white person. But you know which one didn't? RHONY. or the California ones and all of that. A lot of things have come up over this year that have really, I mean, I stopped watching RHONY because I couldn't stand Ramona. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. So this peeing that you said, what's her name, and did the last couple of seasons, I missed all of that. But I watched it because Ebony was on, and I was like, excuse me. Anyway, so I'm gonna watch it. But I stopped watching because I felt like they were really trying to correct their ship, and really they were throwing diversity in our face, and it wasn't genuine. It was not organic at all. So I think this really them trying to rehab their image with Black people. Because listen, I'm not even gonna get into them. Just think about it. But the last thing I want to say is that how you want to ask about diversifying New York City franchise, and you're Andy Cohen, and Bevy Smith is your homegirl, allegedly. You sit by her, you can't turn to Bevy and get somebody? I mean, I think they should run her a check like they should run you several checks. But
and Bevy, legendary, had her dinner parties here in New York City. She knows New York.
Exactamente. So how serious are they about this? Except for to help Andy fail up at this point.
Oh, not fail up, Robin. Yes.
Amen.
Not fail up. So we just hashtag that fail up, Andy? Oh, damn. Okay.
I'm hitting the Twitter with that right now. Fail up.
Thank you. Tag
All
me.
right, now I'm out.
Bye. Wow. She said fail up to help Andy fail up. All right. St. J's here. St. J, what's going on?
Hello, how's it going? I'm
Pretty good.
practicing my win. Okay. Wow. So I'll make this quick. It's like this. New York is very diverse, but we're also saying we wanted them to be authentically friends. And I think that is kind of the crux of that issue. Because I've been watching RHONY for years. They continuously brought in friends of Ramona. Like they were bringing in people that knew the cast or knew somebody on the cast, or like there was a rhythm to it. I mean, I guess she didn't have any Black friends though. So I mean, like that's just what it is. Like, I mean, I never thought we would live in a world where we would have, RHONY and Manhattan Moms at the same time. But I personally feel bad for Ebony because I'm like, gosh, not in a feel bad, like this is her only job, but like, dang girl, you did one season. The season was pretty much all about you. No reunion. Show pretty much gets the boot. Yikes. Like, who wants that on their resume?
Damn.
I have.
Oh, wait, I can't hear you. St. J? There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me? Okay.
You still sound far away. What's going on? You have your headset on?
I have my AirPods in.
Take those out. You should know by now that those don't work on online.
Okay.
So much better. Okay, now I can't hear you at all.
Okay.
Okay.
We're on the money. I'm so sorry. Gosh, it's been a while. I think that a legacy cast makes sense. I want to know who they bring in on a legacy cast. I also think that we're saying diversity, and I'm agreeing. I'm a Black man. Of course, I want to see people that look like me and represent other cultures. But there are people in America that relate to Ramona.
I just had a shiver.
Like, I mean, they might not be the people I know.
Yeah, you're right.
But they're there. So are we're casting one way and not having the other way? I mean, I don't know. If the show's going to be on Peacock, that'll just be the couple months I don't watch Peacock. But my thoughts, bring Ebony back. I think that they should put Ebony on another season. Like, I think I don't understand how Andy hasn't backtracking. How do you make an announcement that there are two different shows and not tell us, oh, we're about to start filming?
Because they're desperate. They're desperate.
Like,
they want us to cast it.
I'm like, what was the point? You had years. You came back with this? Put the original girls in the Hamptons and then put the other girls in the city and let's keep it pushing.
Oh, Lord. All right, St. J. Let me get to the rest of these folks, but we appreciate you calling in. We haven't seen you in a long time, but we're happy to see you back.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. All right. Norma's backstage. I'm going to bring Norma up. What's going on, Norma?
Hello, Kempire.
Ooh.
How do you put me after all these fabulous people?
You sound amazing, though. Whatever, your sound quality is amazing.
It's just my Puerto Rican voice.
Oh.
So I agree with Kristen about the segregation, but Bravo always had these shows segregated, and that bothered me from the get-go. But I have one Hollywood phrase to say, and it's jump the shark. Bravo has jumped the shark with the Housewives. Been there, done that, same old, same old. I mean, they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Who cares? I don't want to see Ramona on another girls' trip, crapping all over the bed, on the feet, on the floor. It's done. We've seen it. The world has changed immensely, and we need to see a reflection of that. And what Gabrielle was saying about in New York, it doesn't have to be Puerto Rican, but or Latino, whatever. What it would be nice is that it's fucking international. New York is international. Yeah. Let's have people with class, more so than Luann with that broken Italian and fake French that she speaks, because that's not the real deal. Bring people with culture. New York is culture, and all they're showing are people that are uncultured. I don't care if you have a Birkin bag or have whatever. That doesn't show me culture. How come people are not on the board of the museum? Tell me about, yay for Bethany, but Gertie was the only one that I saw doing a charity. If you got money, put your money where your mouth is, or your mouth where your mouth wet. You know what I mean. But it's just like, let's have, New York is so culture. The Upper East Side is not culture. It's just you know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Let's go to the Puerto Rican Day Parade and have some arroz con gandule and party. I mean, no, bring the world to see. So it's just it is very boxed in, even how they show. I'm just really tired. I'm not looking forward to Beverly Hills. I can give 3 Fs about Erica fighting with Kathy. I mean, really, do we care when there's people that are really struggling out there? Is this what we need to see for rich people? Really? Show some class, because money can't buy you class.
Norma, we're going to cast you for the next season of Beverly Hills. You're in California, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay, real quick. One of my dearest friends who used to be on General Hospital, big star. He was having dinner at my house the other day, and I brought up Lisa Rinna. And my brother is like, Norma, you shouldn't have done it. And I'm like, come on, give me the skinny on Lisa. Tell me the truth, because he's gay. Tell me the truth. I don't know why I'm whispering it. I mean, he's out there. So yes, he's gay. My friend is gay. Tell me the truth about Harry. And he was very loyal. He wasn't a tourist though, but he was loyal, he didn't say a thing. And then I went to Lisa's Instagram and he likes everything. And I had to apologize to him. I said, I hope I didn't offend you by asking about your friend, but nobody likes her. But I know a lot of people that know Lisa Rinna. She's not a good person.
Oh, Norma, you just coming here dropping tea. I love it. Thank you.
Well, I will let the other speakers speak, but everyone who spoke before, it was great. And no, Sonia is not evolving; she's dissolving. And let's open up New York for the cultural mecca that it is, and show some real New York.
Definitely, Norma. Thank you so much for calling in.
And I see you and just like that, I see it. I'm going to see what I know and who I know, and I send you some information so we can get you in their stratosphere.
Thank you, Norma.
No promises, but I'm going to try.
Of course. We're all co-creating this manifestation, okay?
Okay, love you. Love everyone. Bye.
Bye, Norma. Lord, things I could say. Oh, all right. We have a few people backstage that have called in. We're going to get to them in just a second. But if you're just joining us, there was some breaking news that the Real Housewives of New York is going to get a reboot. Bravo is stating that they are going to do what we've been asking them to do with so many different cities, and that's scrap everyone and start fresh. However, they also at the same time announced that they are going to launch something called the Real Housewives of New York Throwback or Legacy. Okay. Candace, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, oh, Norma. Norma is the best. I can't. Yes, guys, reminder, support the channel by getting a Coldest Water bottle or a coffee mug or something like that. They have all kinds of stuff at Coldest. Use the discount code KEMP10 for 10% off. Again, KEMP10 for the 1% off. And a reminder as well, if you are looking for crystals, head on over to illuminaryshop.com. Discount code KEMP150 for 15% off. That is from our friends over at FemTarot on YouTube. As you know, we've collaborated multiple times over the last couple of years. So support her by getting 15% off in honor of our 100,000 subscribers. She's giving you guys a 15% off discount code with KEMP10 at illuminaryshop.com. Okay. All right, ma'am Bonsu, I'm going to bring you up. Hello.
Hello, can you
Yes.
hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes. Hi, this is my first time on, you guys. So hi, Kempire family. And
Welcome.
I'll tell you right now, thank you. If you hear a baby and a dog in the background, I apologize. I'm at home, okay?
It's okay.
Okay. So first off, I came in halfway. So I don't know what this legacy thing is about that y'all were talking about fully, but I better not see Ramona go across my screen. That's all I know. And that's on Mary Had a Little Lamb, because no. I don't know what that was about, but no. As for New York, right? Because I'm a New Yorker too, and I'm gonna piggyback off of what some of the other people said. I think the problem with the New York franchise, and I've been saying this 13 years ago when I was a damn near teenager, it's not reflective of New York City at all. Like they just focus on this one little enclave of the Upper East Side that nobody in New York City really goes to chill or anything like that. Yeah, I'm looking at you right now. Nobody goes to the Upper East Side. I'm telling y'all that right now. If you're not from New York, nobody goes to dine. You might go to dine there, but it's not where people go.
Yeah.
Most people
and
go
even
to
that was back in the day. People used to dine there. They don't dine there now.
Exactly. So back to my point, I'm glad you said that. Like, and I'm being biased because I'm from Brooklyn. They have to have a housewife of New York City from Brooklyn, because living in Brooklyn, I mean, there's so many restaurants and things like that that you don't even need to go to Manhattan these days, right? It's not reflective of New York. I want to see them at what do we have in Brooklyn? Not Central Park. We have Prospect Park, things like that. Like, just show different parts of, at least show different parts of New York City. I want to see like an Asian woman from Queens, maybe a Jewish woman in the Bronx, or maybe go to an African restaurant in the Bronx, because I'm African too. So I want to see that. What is right? What where the Dominicans at? Is that Riverside?
I mean, they're all over New York, but they're
but I'm saying like where,
Washington Heights, more
Washington
like
Heights, like just show a real sense of what New York City is. I think that's what's always been missing, and I'm pretty sure they can find a cast of friends from all over New York City. I have friends. I live in Brooklyn. I have friends in Queens, Staten Island, whatever, and we all just meet up. That's the normal thing to do, right? But they just need to show like a real sense of New York instead of this Upper East Side crap that nobody goes to. Nobody does that,
And Brooklyn has evolved since the show launched. Brooklyn is now more expensive than Manhattan.
Thank you. And again, I'm being biased. Like, I literally go to a Black-owned Pilates gym in Brooklyn. Y'all don't even know about that. It's not highlighted. It's in Bed-Stuy. I can send you the information. Yeah.
Yes, please.
And I go to a Black-owned spin class in Brooklyn. What do we have in Brooklyn now? It's called Little Caribbean, what used to be Flatbush, right? All these Black-owned restaurants and things. It's just as, you always hear about Harlem, but Brooklyn has so many Black-owned businesses as well. You know what I'm saying? And not just to highlight Black-owned businesses, but just saying, like, we have so much that people don't go to Manhattan the way that they used to.
I just had a thought. Can you imagine? I know they're aiming for diversity, so it doesn't necessarily mean it'll be all Black, but they are looking for a friend group. It wouldn't shock me. You find a really great Black friend group all of a sudden. Real Housewives of New York is all Black, like Atlanta.
Honestly, I think they should have a Housewives of Brooklyn, because there's so many neighborhoods just in Brooklyn itself. I mean, all these, what do we have? Why I act like I haven't been here before? All these brownstones, these multi-million-dollar brownstones, I would like to see somebody living in there or something like that. I would love to see a housewife from Chinatown. Just different things. It just can't be this whole Upper East Side crap again. It's so outdated and it's not what's vibing right now in New York City.
Yeah.
No.
All
All right.
Thank you so much for
I'm so
calling
glad-
in.
Yes, and I hope to get through again in the future. All right. Have a great day, everybody.
You too. Bye. Oop. Someone said men are boring. Are we talking about possible husbands? Look, we've said this for a very long time. This is not new. New York is diverse. And a lot of our friend groups here in New York are diverse. White friends, black friends, Jewish friends. It's diverse. You look at Ebony K. Williams, and we were introduced to her friends. Her friends weren't all just black. So just keep that in mind. All right. Bungie, I'm going to bring you up. Hello.
Hi, Kempire. First time caller here.
Where are you
And
calling from?
I am calling from Shropshire in England.
Oh, thank you for calling in.
Do you know what? Can I just say, first of all, I absolutely love you. I started listening to you not too long ago, maybe, I don't know, 6 months ago or something. And I would occasionally listen. And now all of a sudden, all the other bloggers have fallen off. And I just want to listen to you only. I'm a Taurus as well, by the way. So I love your energy. No drama, fun shade. That's how I like it.
Okay.
Do you know what? Your first caller, what she said about, what did she say about the fact that they're trying to create a segregation? I hadn't thought about it like that, but she's got a brilliant point there. And to be honest, if Ramona came back, I would absolutely hate it. And I think we as Black people have gone through a lot, particularly since George Floyd and the cases that have been highlighted back then. I mean, we've been doing protests here as well in England and stuff
around
like
the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been so many cases highlighted since then. So Black people don't want to be triggered. We don't want to open our telly for entertainment and absolutely get emotional and traumatized watching these things over and over again. And Misty Copeland, oh my God, I hadn't thought of her, but she would be absolutely brilliant. But to be honest, I think she's too classy for reality.
Reality TV.
I think that's the only downfall, really. And by the way, I am South African, and I absolutely love that you've been reviewing young Black and young
famous and African.
Yeah, it's brilliant, and thank you so much for that.
Of course, I loved it myself. Well, we appreciate you calling in.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
You too.
Bye-bye. You guys make me feel all so good inside. I love it. I love it. Shout out to my Tauruses. It's about to be Taurus. Okay, it's Aries season right now, but right after Aries season is Taurus season. We're going to act up. We're going to act up. By then, we'll probably way over 100,000 strong. So we're going to act up for Taurus season. But shout out to all the Aries. I have very close friends that are Aries. Happy birthday. All right, guys. House of Diamond, I'm going to bring you up. What's going on, House of Diamond? Diamonds.
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm pretty good, and congratulations, of course, on the 100K.
Thank you.
So I am really over the whole Real Housewives of New York, period. I'm not going to honestly say differently. When there are so many different Real Housewife franchises that has carried Bravo's ratings completely. Let's just be honest. We are revamping a show who has mediocre ratings to add to a boat of ratings that other shows have actually carried and steered this boat. Now, the diversity is great. As far as the legacy, I would like to see them change the definition a little bit, and maybe even bring on some ladies from other shows that have migrated to that New York area and are building their own legacy.
Oh.
And we don't want to see the same legacy from 20 years ago, or the same definition of legacy from 20 years ago. We want to see the young ladies who are the housewives who are building their legacy now and who are in the middle of what it really took to build those legacies. If not, we're going to just keep seeing the same thing over and over again. Someone who is entitled and drunk and things of that nature.
Okay. All right, House of Diamonds, we appreciate you calling in. Uh-oh, I think we lost you. All right. Sorry, House of Diamonds. I'm sorry we lost you. All right. We're gonna get to some more callers. All right. Shalom. I'm gonna bring you up. What's going on, Shalom?
Hey, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I feel like Bravo knows that they have to do something. Their backs are up against the wall. I feel it's particularly interesting that they dropped this news the week that the young Africans have taken the internet by storm. And as my
young,
daddy,
famous and African.
the young Africans, oh yeah, young famous, they have taken, Twitter is ablaze. I'm telling my family, you gotta watch this. This is us, y'all. Listen.
You're right. Someone, are you there? Uh-oh, the sound went out. Uh-oh. Shalom, call back in. Shalom might be right. I told you guys the reaction to Young, Famous, and African was overwhelming. So many of you hit me up. I had never seen a reaction to a show like this. For those of you that may have missed our recaps of Netflix's Young, Famous, and African, I had never seen a reaction to a show like that ever since we've been doing this, or even before that. Let me just say thank you, Kristen, for the super chat. Kristen says, Upper East Side is an echo chamber of white privilege. Bloop. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, Shalom, I'm going to bring you back up. What's going on, Shalom?
I just want to say, just make it quick. Like my dad would say, that'll learn them. That will learn them. Because guess what? You have to know that there's a whole different world out there. We are here. We're not going, it's global. Look at how young, famous and African is just such a beautiful thing. It's just done a different way. And I think that they know the bus is leaving them. So, you know, I cannot wait for new reality shows. You're going to be doing all of them, and we're going to be here for you, boo. Look, not just a million followers. We doing $1 million, baby. Okay, because we out here. Love you, Camp. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. You guys, I have the best community. I don't care about anyone else's. Look, my community knows that how we do over here. We cite our sources. We are welcoming to differing opinions. And we don't care if you talk about other content creators. We love everybody. Look, we love everybody here. We're not that kind of group, right? Right. All right. The Realist is backstage. Let me bring the Realist up. Hey, the Realist.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Hello. I'm well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, but I think there's a delay.
Yeah, I can sense the delay. That's why I'm asking if you can hear me.
Yeah. The Realist, do me a favor. Try and drop out and call back in. Maybe that will fix the delay, because I want to be able to have a back and forth with you. Miss Bernice, I'm going to bring you up again. Miss Bernice, did you already call in?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify when she said that Sonya didn't evolve. Mm-hmm. Sonya evolved because Sonya didn't let her privilege stop her from learning from Ebony. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay.
Luann and Ramona. Mm-hmm. Oh, girl, I don't deal with that. That don't reflect me. I can't talk to you about that. They let their privilege stop them from learning. That's what I'm talking about. Sonya has evolved.
Yeah.
Sonya never treated anybody differently than anybody else. Like when she came to Leah's party and she saw them black people over there, she went straight to them like, "Hey, we about to have a fucking good time. Come on now." That's what I'm saying. The other ones, no. They can go to the left. They can go.
All right. All right, Miss Bernice, we appreciate you calling back in to clarify your statement.
Right, to clarify myself. Okay, kiddo. Because somebody just said, I don't call you kiddo no more. I just realized that. Like, Cam, I don't call him kiddo anymore.
I'm not
Like,
grown up. Thank you for calling in, Miss Bernice. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. I tell you, our community is one of the best. If you have been on the fence about subscribing, subscribe to the channel. The road to 1 million subscribers is on its way. We're almost at 104,000 subscribers. Hold on, let me refresh because we were very close before I came on. Let me refresh. Hold on. Guys, if you're just joining us, be sure to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting the channel. Oh yeah, we did. We're at 104,000 subscribers now, y'all. Verified and everything here on these YouTube streets. And yes, we will be having a major celebration for when we get the plaque and everything celebrating our 100K and then the next milestone. Thank you all for being here. Here are my final thoughts on this RHONY news. I love hearing everyone's opinions from Kristen on down to Miss Bernice on how this can be a good thing and how this could be a bad thing. As I said to you before, what we've seen when it comes to this RHONY situation, Bravo has really been trying to save face. Let's be honest. They really have been trying to save face. This is part of the reason why they've delayed RHONY. They weren't trying to figure out casting. They were trying to figure out how can we save Ramona's job. How convenient. How convenient. And this is what they came up with. Fail up, as one of the callers, Robin, said earlier. They gave Andy another show. They gave him 2 more years of the failing Watch What Happens Live with those sorry-ass ratings. Can we just say congratulations to Kandi Burruss? I didn't get a chance to do a video on Kandi and her show, Kandi and the Gang. The ratings went up almost 200,000 viewers this week. Congrats to her. Guys, we're going to continue to follow the story. And of course, replay crew, what do you think needs to happen when it comes to the Real Housewives of New York? Do you want to see this throwback version? Are you one of the groups of friends that Bravo should be considering? Maybe. We shall see. Ronnie says, I love Kandi's new show. See? Anyways, guys, let's continue the conversation in the comment section. Thank you to everyone that called in. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you to our Team Kempire and Royal Court members. To become a member, head on over to teamkempire.com. And shout out to our moderators, guys. Don't forget to show love to our moderators. And for more details on a coldest water bottle or a crystal, check out the description of this video. Thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your day. I got more work I need to do. We got to talk about the Wendy Williams situation. I got to really dig deep into what Kelvin Hunter had to say. So stay tuned for that video a little bit later on today. Have a wonderful day. Guys, if you missed our Real Housewives of New Jersey recap or the Jen Shah news, be sure to check out everything that you missed today so far or this week. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Let me get out of here. Look, I got things to do. Y'all.
Yeah, I know. You was right and I was wrong.
It's not tourist season, but it's about to be.
Yeah, I know. You was right and I was wrong. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay. Yeah, I know. You was right and I admit it. That trade can be toxic. Ay. Yeah, I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. Hey, girl, I hate to see you cry, but that happens every single time we fight. Look, I'm far from a perfect guy, and I do anything to try to make it right. But you, baby, look, I know sometimes I act like I'm unbothered. If I end up losing you, baby, you make me better. But we have this forever. I promise I will change. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay. Yeah, I know. You was right. I admit it. That trade can be toxic. Ay. Yeah, I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. I'm just so stubborn at times. Stubborn at times. I know. You was right. The energy ain't been the same. but if we work on it, we surely can regain. Look, I went and booked a private plane, a little vacation in Barcelona, Spain. What you say? Spend some time just you and me to rekindle a special little thing. Ay, I know we always wanna agree, can't always have it my way, but I don't want you to leave. Please stay. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic. Ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times. I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times. I know, you was right. I need to learn to put my pride in my pocket. Ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I admit it, that trade can be toxic. Ay. Yeah, I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times. I know, you was right. I'm just so stubborn at times, stubborn at times. I know, you was right. Hey. You was right and I was wrong. You was right and I was wrong. You was right and I was wrong. You was right and I was wrong.